So it is now 1 minute past 2, and I would like to welcome everyone who has made it on time to the World EDAC 2021 General Assembly. It's really a great pleasure to have you all here. We have a total of 42 people attending this General Assembly. It is, of course, the first time we are holding the event in such a form. We believe it should be efficient and possible to do so, and we look forward to an efficient General Assembly. So without further ado, I would like to hand over to the President of the World EDAC Association, Dr. Nader Imani, who will chair the General Assembly 2021. Nader, over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Danny, and thank you to everyone. Very welcome to our World EDAC General Assembly 2021. So I would like to ask Danny to continue his role as a moderator, just to make sure that we are keeping this time, and we are just changing to the agenda, so we can go through it very fast. Maybe you can come back again, Danny, because yes.
Yep.
We try to make this program quite attractive for you after a kind of a short address to the assembly here. About our activities on a macro level. I would like to hand over some few words to our Vice President, Xavier Menierta, for his statements. After that, we will then go back to Danny Gauch about the minutes of the General Assembly 2020, brief presentation of our activities, maybe more into the details from our Director General, member statistic also, but also very important about our accounts and balance sheets 2020. I've been asking Miriam Bonilla, our treasurer, to provide some statements on that. So it will be then provided to all of you. We will then go for a voting on the break sessions before coming back to the Outlook 2022, what is being expected for the next year. And we will then give the room to our ambassadors for a few statements on different parts of the world, and hopefully we'll keep some time for questions and answers. So far about the agenda. Without any further ado, I would like to go to my statement, and I've been preparing some slides for that. So maybe just to take what is very current right now. And I do believe that we all have been experiencing quite an unprecedented case through the last 1.5 years. We have been basically changing our mode of life and the way that we work and the way that we interact. And it has been, of course, impacting massively our association. I would just say not always for tightening it, but also maybe in the way that we have been also forcing ourselves to think or rethink education in its new format that would be maybe using edtech and providing opportunities to innovate on education. So of course, in other words, we may also ask ourselves, would the UN Decade of Action and the Sustainability Development Goals that they were fixed a couple of years ago, they will still be considered in this new normal? Or in other words, whether the SDG number 4 in particular, quality education for all, will be perceived as a myth or still seen as a reality that would be achieved by 2035. To our resilience in this rapidly adapting our operations in a contingency plan, and we had to react very, very fast as an association. We have changed quite a lot the nature of our association, and we really continued while continuing and providing value to our members. Learning from our perseverance and the richness of our emerging ideas. And I have to acknowledge here, we increasingly act as the place where we really try to open up World EDAC as a place where education comes together. And this means really addressing the education value chain from its supply to its demand, or maybe from its demand to its supply, and trying to connecting all the stakeholders together. In addition to our annual General Assembly, which is taking place right now, we continue to diversify our activities throughout the year and in our bi-weekly leadership meetings. And again, this has been a tremendous support from our leaders and leadership to really keep the momentum of this association throughout these 18 months that we had together in this crisis. Our quarterly council meetings just continue to exist. But of course, as Dan was saying, in a different format, our council meeting was not able to meet physically, but again, every quarter we were able to keep together and of course to keep as a milestones of our governance model, so that we were all able to really bring the ideas on the stage and discuss them very thoroughly for the better and for the worse, but then decide the best for the association. In addition, we have introduced the Platinum Member Roundtable. This is an additional forum for those of our members who wanted really to have a more interaction. More interaction means also to do more and to reach more with association as a vehicle, so that we can together really bring our ideas all over the world and in a more efficient way. For sure, our secretariat has been also going through a change. Today, we are having our two FITs, one in Switzerland and another one in Malaysia, that both in a very symbiosis way, they are working and they provide the kind of support and visibility that we really seek through our association in a global education arena. And of course, where really partnership is of essence to create benefits for our companies, but also for affiliate members. So to better align our activities with the regional education demand in the different markets, we have been appointing ambassadors. So we have been already having presence through our ambassadors in the region Asia Pacific. We have been having also presence in Europe because of our secretariat presence, but also network here in this continent. But also at the same time, we have been appointing ambassadors in Africa and in Latin America. So I'm very pleased that our ambassadors will have a word to say during this General Assembly. And this should really continue or offer in a closer collaboration between our association through its ambassadors or members, but also the target continent, the target regions. In a year of social distancing, we all feel that there's a need to interact more. Together with the leadership, we managed to have excellent panel discussions during the annual ADB Skills Forum. So we were all in the position to really present our expertise from our members, but at the same time to create a status, a privileged status for ADB. So we are in construction, in planning to construct together with the ADB a resource center. So where our members will be able to present their ideas, their product, their services, a kind of marketplace that would be access to all the ADB project leaders and missions across the continent. Of course, we have been collaborating with international organizations like a COD organization in the USA, EduTech in France, Association for Education Technology and Startups in Education, but also Google in Europe, to provide, let's say, best possible knowledge on what is happening in education in the virtual panels. Our focus on Africa has been also helping us to bring more visibility in this continent. We have been successful together to have a membership, affiliate membership with the ADEA, Association for Development of Education Africa, a continental association that is really overarching the entire activities of education on the whole continent. Of course, the need for solidarity call has been also being reacted or being answered by our association to the UNESCO Global Education Coalition. This is the initiatives of UNESCO as an answer to the pandemic. putting millions, if not billions, of students out of the school. And this has been also reactively supported by the General Assembly of UNESCO this year, 2021, where we had the privilege to speak on your behalf, on the behalf of our association, on what the contribution of our association could be with UNESCO and with so many other members and companies, associations, NGOs that are supporting this movement. So let's just continue, and we are already thinking and talking about schooling without walls. So this is a kind of spirit that we would like also to present based on your competencies. We are trying to meet the demands. So of course, a face-to-face meetings is quite challenging right now for everybody. But maybe we can replace that because of the limitation we have and because of the facility that we may have through virtual tools that we can maybe organize trade delegations. So we have been already in talk, and there are two upcoming trade delegations that are in planning. One is in Ecuador. As you know, Ecuador is one of the most dynamic countries when it comes to the education stage and activities on all levels, primary, secondary, but also tertiary, vocational. But also we are planning a trade delegation in the 2 sessions to Washington. The first one would be very much focused on what's happening right now in the US market under the Biden administration and what does that mean in terms of education in the United States of America. But then second, also maybe later 2 months in a presence forum, we will see as a trade delegation to meet with a major Washington-based institutions like the World Bank, Inter-American Development Bank, Millennium Challenge, and of course USAID. So we will continue to work on that, and please come to us with your target markets, your target regions. We believe that similar events could be already scheduled for the second half of 2022. So don't hesitate to call us and express your demands when you have one particular regions or market in your mind. Yes, school without walls, and this has been basically by counting on the ingenuity of our members. We have elaborated EduSpace as a digital world didact portal where knowledge and skills are really symbiotically bundled together to support career-related education pathways. So our discussion with World Didact members and also non-members will provide us to bring the basis, the foundation to ensure that the programs offered by EduSpace would be target demanded, target occupations that are needed in many countries around the world. We are in particular thinking about common occupations like household electricians, let's say machine operators, car mechanics, or welding technicians. Those are the major simple occupations that could be supported by the EduSpace and also certified by the demand and not necessarily by the supply. I'm very proud that on that we have been working as a task force, and we are very much happy to announce, and we are going to talk about that as a soft launch early next year. Well, acknowledgements. I have to say all that has not been possible without the support of our Director General, Danny Koch, and the Secretariat, as I said, in Switzerland and in Malaysia, for the great work that they have been really providing in terms of quantity and also quality to supporting services to our companies and affiliated members, and extends also have to my gratitude to the leadership. And I've been mentioning the bi-weekly meeting of our leaders and leadership has been of tremendous support to what this association has been trying to achieve on behalf of its members or for his members. My special gratitude goes to the Vice President, Juha, that I'm going to hand over the word and stage to him in a while, but also to the Treasurer, Miriam, But of course, Steve McKee, as a former president and the president emeritus, that has been very much of support for what we really stand today. And we are very much looking forward to the future with confidence in a kind of co-responsibility that we would like to drive navigating association for the future. So World EDAC is a global organization that helps achieving the SDG number 4, or Global Association advocates for EdTech innovations to make it accessible to everyone, everywhere. So that means education for all should not really be a kind of buzzword, but a reality that we are believing in and we are striving tirelessly to really achieve. At this point, I can only urge you to go for more proactive memberships, to use the association as a vehicle to do more and achieve more in your educational offerings. So World EDAC is a global organization that helps the SDG or let's say as a global association advocating EdTech. And this has been, I would just say, is a kind of Sisyphus or Sisyphean task that is never ending with a passion. So this will be continuing in the future, and we would like to really have your interactions as also passionate people and passionate companies for a very, very valid cause, which is education that is really trying to drive our future. At that stage, I would like to thank you again, and maybe also give some ideas about the forward. So the forward is really the best for the future. So investment in education still a major drive of our planet. And of course, if World EDAC was not existing, we would have to create it. So a world organization that is standing for education, and this is our reason to be. And our reason to be will also lead to innovate on education to make the education offering better for the needs that the world has. Back to you, Danny, maybe as a moderator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nader. Muted myself just now again. Before I move on, one thing I forgot to mention is that this whole session is being recorded so that we can put this up into the members area for those who have not been able to participate, so that they can still get at this information. The second point is we have people joining in. Unfortunately, one person is entered who has not edited their name. I ask them to please add their name, otherwise we have to remove them from the room. Thank you very much. Without further ado, passing on to Juha, the Vice President, for a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. And just checking that I am able to share my screen.
Can see you.
So now it should be possible.
You should be able to share screen, yes.
Okay. For some strange reason, nothing happens. Now something happens.
Welcome to the digital zone.
Like magic.
Yep.
Yes. To start with, very warm greetings from not so very warm Finland. I am so pleased to join this General Assembly 2021. I will be just touching the base on one very specific topic and building on top of what our President Nader just quickly mentioned, and I kind of restate that I'm in the brackets and be active in order to benefit. And this is really the key message. And the key word on my short message to General Assembly is about collaboration. Regarding World EDAC Association and the operation in general, it is not about us as an association, and it's not about you as our valued members. It's all about us together. How do we join forces towards the best possible mutual benefit? And therefore, I earlier actually searched how is the collaboration defined kind of in a more official way. And I think this kind of phrasing about collaboration kind of says it very clear what is all about collaboration. Moving forward, I and we all from World Dialogue, we would like to invite you and challenge you to join, as we would like to call it, platform for partnerships. And I have listed kind of a top 10 key features, how a typical partnership look like, what are the key elements, how partnership-based operation is normally built up. And not reading through all the text on the screen, but focusing also, because words that are bolded, even with a different very high red color, genuine partnership in the end of the day is based on respect and trust. It's all about good communication, and in the best case scenario, partnership is a long-term strategic partnership model will bring measurable synergies where the concept of value added or the total will be greater than the sum of its individual parts. So therefore, as Nade already mentioned, stating be active in order to benefit is the challenge what I would like to lay on you as our valued members. We are more than happy and welcome to join forces in planning what type of activities we could jointly create and execute in order to benefit mutually and in order to promote the education worldwide. Earlier, we did mention that how to inspire the education worldwide. And we as a whole group, including our members, we are the one where education comes together. With these words, I just say thank you to all and hand over the virtual microphone back to Danny so that we will keep our timeline. Thank you for the 5 minutes in spotlight in this General Assembly.
Thank you, Juha. Before you stop sharing your screen, would you just tap on each page quickly? Because in my screen, it was always stuck on this one, so that people can pause in the worst case if they want to read what you had presented. Maybe
okay, what
the
I
third
will
slide.
do, I will, Danny, send this presentation to you. Perfect. So that you can then afterwards share it. This is probably the key slide, maybe even the...
Perfect. Thank you. We will do so.
Thank
you very much. So coming back to the rest, the next point on the agenda would be, now I'm just irritated. Can somebody confirm that they can see the screen?
I don't see the screen, I see you.
Okay, so then I have to share again somehow. I think Juha stopped the sharing and that overruled me.
No, it's okay.
Okay, perfect. So back to the General Assembly. The next point on the agenda would be taking a look at the minutes of the General Assembly 2020. These minutes were sent out in the hindsight of the General Assembly, which was held last year, purely digital. That means we had sent out the documentation and asked everybody to return voting ballots. This was mainly also due to the corona and no travel. The General Assembly was held online. We received the votes on time. The counting of the ballot papers took place December 10th in the presence of of myself and Daniel Schütz, who is the lawyer of World Dialogue. We went through all the votes. The resolutions very quickly passed. That was not an issue. In some cases, with regard to the voting of the council members, there was a slight issue with regard to the number of votes. And due to the fact that this was an important vote and the council wanted to be voted upon properly, it was then taken by the leadership. The decision was taken by the leadership. This is the president, the vice president, myself, and I don't remember who the fourth person, I'm sorry, was taken the decision that we would provide the opportunity to those three or four people to correct their votes, which was just the issue of one person too much. Thereafter, this deadline was taken into account on December 15th, as written here, and the additional count was then defined, and this led to a parity of votes for two candidates both from the UK. And based on the fact that they were both from the UK, from one country, and according to the statutes, only one country may be represented within the council, there was a lot decision by the president, Dr. Stephen McKee, and this was also witnessed by Daniel Schütz and myself in a Zoom meeting on December 16th. And all of this then led to our current council, the way it is. Now, coming to the next point, what were the activities of this year? This is just a brief outline. A lot of things have happened in 2021. Besides the communication, which we have ramped up, we are doing a lot on social media. And at this point, I would also like to share my words of appreciation to the team in Malaysia for their countless efforts and good work in promoting on social media. We started off the year with a webinar with the IFC. At this webinar, we actually had a presentation from IFC as to how they fund projects, what kind of projects they fund, and how to get in touch with them, how to create business with them. They are on the lookout for education projects. On the other hand, they are looking for large projects, what we in the education field speak of as large. Typically, they speak from projects or lending from 10 million up. And in order to do something like this, the thought would be that we consolidate several offerings of World EDAC members and try to team up to create projects. We had sent out an email asking for information or for interest from our members. Unfortunately, nobody came back, but we will try this again next year, perhaps in a more structured manner. Then in the summer, we had the opportunity to hold a, I wouldn't call it side event. It was part of the event of the Asian Development Bank's 9th International Skills Forum. The interesting part here is that project managers and decision makers participate at these forums, and they listen to the different sessions which take place in order to inspire and identify or inspire themselves and identify new technologies which are potentially available. I believe that this is going to be a future opportunity for World EDAC to continuously participate in. We will definitely remain in contact with the ADB and see that we create a modus operandi to enhance our members' participation in such. Then the last webinar we held was in September. This was organized by Juha Merinen, Gael, Code, no, I forgot the name. In any case, Gael and from Miriam Bonilla, together with different external partners, I would say the webinar was quite a success, and we definitely need to look that we continue putting our digital footprint out there. And this was just the first in hopefully a series of webinars, which we are going to do, which I will get to later on. Then online exhibitions in May, June, I believe it was. World at ACK participated at the CMAO online virtual session. Some of World at ACK's members, Nisai, if I remember correctly, LabTech also participated. And this was also one of the first tries, more or less, to present oneself digitally. Before that was actually Kazakhstan, which took place at the end of March. The feedback was that although participation was not very strong, the quality of the participants was interestingly high, so that those who participated were actually satisfied. This is the feedback I had received. Then we have the World at ACK Asia, which just recently took place. And thank you, Nader, Jael Girardot from Code in France, coming back to the World at ACK Europe webinar. Jumping back to the World at ACK Asia, we had a positive resonance as well from the participants who presented themselves there. And we are still awaiting the final results, or better said, the report from World at ACK Asia. Upon receival, we will definitely make this available to our members. Further projects which took place this year, we also have a members marketplace on the website of world.ack.org. This members marketplace is strictly for members only, and I think this is important to address. The idea behind it is that if somebody has a short-term offering, or if somebody is searching for something short-term, for example, looking for expertise in a specific field, then they can post this within that marketplace, state who they are looking for, what they are looking for, and this will then be posted like an ads section, an internal ads section. So it's a I have to offer and I'm searching offering. I recommend to use this if ever you are looking for a specific qualification or possibility. We at World at ACK International will also be at the Secretariat, will also be informed if something is posted. And if it's the search for something, then we can also support in that search. Then another important and exciting development was that the World at ACK Association has been accepted to become a member of the COVID-19 Global Education Coalition launched by Unesco. This was a difficult step. Last year in 2020, we already applied for it. Unfortunately, somehow I probably missed the wording properly, that they didn't really understand what advantage they would have or benefits that they would have. This year, together with the president, Nader Imani, we then wrote a new letter, had a meeting mid-summer, and end of September, we actually launched our page within the World at ACK area. We are also present on the Global GEC webpage of UNESCO, and we plan to revisit the scope of offering on a half-yearly basis. And based on that, we will then hopefully improve our reach and our scope of offering and value, of course, for UNESCO GEC, and therefore for UNESCO as well. Last but not least, a further activity which was quite important, quite interesting, and is still ongoing, I would say, is the EduSpace platform. I will be holding a short presentation later on into the outlook for next year. EduSpace, just as a brief information, is a platform where we hope to become a one-stop shop for learning and provide our members with more visibility with regard to digital learning contents. And we believe that this is a very good opportunity. So next to that, the next step would be to go and look at the members' statistics. Our members' statistics are very strongly influenced depending on how business works. And in the case of Corona, I don't like talking about it anymore, but it is a factor and it is there. We had many members who unfortunately had to drop out for financial reasons. This was until, I would say, mid-August the case. These values here are until October. But as you can see from the emails which we have been sending out about new applications, we have gained quite a number of members again. Nevertheless, we are still global, which I don't think will ever change. We are the only global association and we pride in it. We are going to grow in the future. Next, we have the accounts and receipts. And for this purpose, I would like to hand over to Miriam Bonilla to say a few words. And when you want me to switch the sheet, just say so, please.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Danny. Well, thanks, Danny, Nader, Yuha, and everyone. It's true that becoming or being part of the leadership, it is really, to be honest, a lot of work because we are meeting every 2 weeks. But many ideas are coming from that meetings. And from here, I would like to ask the rest of the members that if for any reason anybody has any idea or how the association can help them better, I mean, just speak up. In those meetings that we dedicate a lot of time and effort, but it's true that we are only 5 people thinking what to do. So if anybody has any other idea that how the association can help them, it will be great to listen to you, because at the end, we are a team of people working for the same, with the same purpose. So not speaking too that much about general things that we all know already, but I mean, I want to explain to you as a treasurer, what are the accounts for 2020. It's true that, and I'm not going to talk much about that Corona has affected us, like everywhere, everybody. So we have, if we see the balance sheet for 2020, we have 3 top ways of this, that in 2020 we got 171,000 Swiss francs. Also, we got the revenue or the income from the Swiss deduct agreement, that we got 80,000 Swiss francs. And also the third main revenue or the income was from Future Talk, that we got around 92,807 Swiss francs. The 3 top main costs are, the first one, which is the most important one, is the personal, including all insurance. We have, if you see the numbers there, is 458,000 Swiss francs. Also, the expenses to develop the Future Talk was around 86,000 and 144,000. That's the general operating expenses. If we go to the actives and passives, Danny, if you can move. So we can, if you see here, there is a loss. We got a loss of 400,000 Swiss francs, a little bit more. See this banking account. Hopefully to survive through more revenue to be able to follow with this with the procedure. Okay. So for these actives, Pacho can only have we have only generated 6,000 Swiss francs, and also well, the conclusion is that numbers we have here. All these numbers, for your information, are being audited. Okay, so if anybody wants to have more detail about the numbers, I think Danny will have no problem to detail the numbers we are getting here. Okay.
Thank you very much, Miriam. It was quite difficult to follow you. Unfortunately, I think that your connection is not very good. Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse this, but actually the most important thing was mentioned by Miriam. These figures are all audited. There is an auditor statement available. This one is unfortunately though in German, but we can of course all use Google Translate. If there is a necessity, if there is a need, an interest, anyone is always welcome to have a look into the books. If they don't understand something specific, they can also contact us. It's of course part of our obligation to provide a few words, a statement with regard to the figures during the General Assembly. As this is one of the important points to get discharged upon when it comes to the voting, which is where we are right now. For this purpose, I would like to inform those who are not allowed to vote, and those are those who are basic silver members or double members from a company who is eligible to vote. Those people have already been informed more or less that they will be outsourced, as I have asked who will be the voting person. Those who are allowed to vote will remain in this room. So I will be putting the people into the waiting room just now. And I ask perhaps Alex to join those people into the waiting room so that perhaps you can facilitate a discussion, perhaps 3 minutes time. In those 3 minutes, I think we should be able to get the voting process done in the main room. After which the waiting room will automatically close after 3 minutes and you will return to this room. And we will then provide the opportunity for a 5-minute break. And perhaps there will be, for those who would like to, there will be a video played by Alex called The Evolution of Education. And this is from OECD, just to bridge the time a little bit. So without further ado, I would like to place the participants into the waiting room. And for this case, I am supposing this will work. The rooms are open, and I am hoping, yes, okay, we have 4 people outside. And now I will start the poll. I ask you all to take your time, but not more than 3 minutes. There are not a lot of questions to look through, but please feel free to ask if you have any questions. You can unmute yourselves, of course, but I think the questions should be straightforward. Unfortunately, I only see 8 voters, or 8 people who have voted. If you are in this room and not directly a part of WorldDAC, you are eligible to vote.
Danny, I really have a problem. The window closed and I do not find it. Please help with the technical question. The survey is gone from my screen, so where do I find it?
Do you have a Menüleiste, a taskbar?
Yeah.
If you look at the taskbar, perhaps you should see polls, or
Yeah.
maybe it is on another window.
Or
It's
in German, Umfragen.
Umfrage, exactly. And here I see the overall, but I cannot do anything. It's gone.
Same here, Danny, we just see the poll summary.
Exactly. Same with me.
You shouldn't be
same
able to
for-
see the summary.
I see the
Same for
summary.
me.
Maybe I should stop sharing the screen. I shall do it again. I shall relaunch the poll,
Thank
everybody.
If we already voted, should we vote again?
Yes, please. I am relaunching the poll. That means everything does not count what was there before. And I'm hoping that everybody has received the poll in front of them. Okay, now it's a little bit better. I have 13 people who have participated. 14? Can I hear more? In theory, we should have 21 people who are capable of voting. 15. 16. 16. If you don't want to provide your vote, of course, you can always put abstain, which is ABS. 17, very good. Very good. Alex, in the meantime, have you prepared the video?
Yes, I have.
Wonderful. Don't forget when you share the screen to please also make sure that you have a tick on the volume, on share sound. Okay, we have 18. Okay, good. 18. I will allow another 50 seconds for the polling. Because then I will assume that everybody who would like to vote has voted. If somebody's having an issue, please do let me know. Ten, 9, 8. Houston, we have a problem. No, just joking. Okay, based on that, I will now close the poll. I need to download the results, done that. And now I will share the results. I think it's important that you understand that these results are not weighted based on the eligibility of level of membership, but basically they do show a tendency, and the majority has said yes to all of the resolutions or all of the questions. So I will do the final check now on the data and hand over to Alex to play the video, and I'll be back soon.
Our world is constantly changing. As our politics, technology, and societal aspirations evolve, we find ourselves shifting towards ever more open and purpose-driven societies, ones that must confront ethical challenges brought about by new technologies and global climate change. What does the 21st century look like? Let's explore the patterns of past and present to understand our vision for the future. The 19th century was an age of civil wars, colonialism, and imperialism. This was followed by 2 world wars in the 20th century and the restoration of independence for many countries. So far, the 21st century has been characterized by interdependence among nations and a decentralization of power to individuals. In the 19th century, mass production became possible through new inventions and the exploitation of labor. The world's economies and cultures became increasingly connected, which led to globalization becoming a hallmark of the 20th century. Late last century, the internet and new jobs in computers, electronics, and finance spurred the automation of manual tasks and increased access to information. We are now in an age of accelerated technological innovation, global digital communication, a shared economy, and mass migration with increasing levels of urbanization. Working life has also changed, with the workforce taking on shared decision-making responsibilities in flat and open organizations. Increased social and environmental awareness is shifting business aims from purely profit-driven to purpose-driven. Our relationship with the environment was one of exploitation in the 19th and 20th centuries, tempered by an emerging awareness of the environment and concern over climate change in the latter half of the 20th century. A paradigm shift is now occurring in the 21st century, where the well-being of humanity is recognized as dependent on the well-being of the planet. Education has been affected by all of these changes. When universal public schooling emerged in the 19th century, a static, standardized curriculum prepared students for jobs. In the 20th century, the purpose of education expanded to include individual fulfillment, and new disciplines were added. Now, and looking forward, education systems aspire to implement flexible, dynamic curricula that recognize the differences between individual students and provide the tools for all students to realize their full potential in an uncertain future. Schools are no longer closed off from their surroundings, but are hubs of collaboration, continually contributing to and being influenced by their wider ecosystem. What might the future of education look like? Visit our website to catch a glimpse.
Sie haben
Danny?
Yeah, I still need a few minutes. We will resume at in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Please, sorry. Okay. So, unfortunately, I have the results, but I could not identify certain mistakes or why this was the case. I am missing the votes, for example, of Mohammed Ebeid and Juha Merinen.
Danny,
Yes.
I did push, but not sure whether anything happened at all.
Yes. Unfortunately, they were not.
Can I send my answers via mail to you or via chat or something?
You are very welcome to send it via email if you wish. I think Alex will send out the poll result,
I will.
the form, the PDF
Yes,
to you.
I will.
But as everybody can see, the votes will not have much of an influence with regard to the results. This is the counted results. The approval of the minutes at 22 abstained. Adoption of the annual report, 20 have agreed, 2 abstained. Approval of the accounts, 20 agreed, 2 abstained. Approval of the balance 2020, 20 agreed, 2 abstained. Discharge of the council, 19 agreed, 3 have abstained. And discharge of the auditors, 17 have agreed, 5 have abstained. I do have the names, of course, of who has voted, and I will contact you afterwards in case, or contact those who have not voted, better said. So coming back to the rest, thank you very much for your votes, for your time. Perhaps next step would be an outlook for 2022. We still have half an hour to go, and I would like to hurry up here. We have a webinar series planned, as this was briefly touched upon by Juha Merinen, together with the Pino Network affiliate association from Finland, Oulu, Finland. We have defined a webinar series. We've started with one topic, and the idea was inspired by Unesco GEC. They spoke about schools without walls and what this meant for the future. And one of the first...
Only, Danny, on my screen, it is still the voting results.
Okay, thank you very much. So moving on, the Schools Without Walls, we plan to hold a webinar end of January. We are currently in the evaluation of the different speakers, and we will start communicating this at the beginning of the year, the latest, once we have the speakers on board. We have the ADEA, who will hold a keynote speech, and we are intending to get the voice of the industry, meaning those who actually acquire the services of those students who then become labor or workforce. And we also are looking to have a teacher on board and specialists from the digital field. All of this related to TVET. So the platform or the style will be more of a discussion round. In 90 minutes, it's not possible to do much more, but we hope to be able to build up a new movement and round of discussions with other decision takers. Then we will, of course, also develop the same for different levels of education. We are starting, as I said, with TVET. Furthermore, Nader has already mentioned it, we are planning trade delegations. Ecuador was postponed now to March for different reasons. We are going to reopen the possibility to participate mid-January, end of January, once we have the participants confirmed from the side of Ecuador. We believe this is truly an opportunity and of value. If you can imagine that we are going to organize the connections, or at least the opportunity to discuss and hold a presentation of your company and your offering, or better said, your basic overall solution, not products, but overall solution, directly to the target group, which is relevant for your business. And all of this without having to make a trip there. Then the second thing will be Washington. We plan to do the same, of course, also. This will also be online in Washington. And all of this will be around Biden's Build Back Better program, meaning we will address the US market with this visit. And this will also be a 2-day online program. And then we will have a Washington 2. This will most likely be in May. Washington 1 will be end of March, most likely. And Washington 2 will be in May, most likely. And this is planned to be on-site with a focus on the international development partners who all sit in Washington. Please just keep your eyes open for the newsletters. You will see more information following within the months to come. Then international cooperations globally, again, UNESCO, GEC, we have our foot in the door. The head of the program has actually, in the last meeting we've had with him, mentioned that he sees the opportunity for a strategic partnership between World DAC and UNESCO GEC. We are still waiting for the meeting to take place so that we can discuss what exactly the strategic partnership could mean. But they were already highly impressed by the fact that we have created a dedicated page in our World DAC webpage, which is linked from the UNESCO GEC page with the free offerings of our members who are participating in this GEC coalition. So we will be revisiting the offerings. We will also re-offer the opportunity to join in to all of our members step by step, and we will revisit this offering every half year, perhaps even every 3 months, depending on the excuse me, the interest from member side. Then moving on to the African continent, we have the African Union Commission. We will be sending out an information in the next newsletter, where there are cooperation discussions going to take place, where we will provide our members with a specific offering specifically for the African continent, not just price-wise, but also solution-wise, where they believe they have a good offering. We will develop or create the opportunity to present this to the African Union Commission in individual sessions, so that you actually, or the members who can, will actually get a voice directly in that commission. As for the ADEA, I have just last week taken part in the ADEA African, which is the Association for Development of Education in Africa. I've taken part in their steering committee as a silent participant, and the idea is that they would like to have World at Act to come on board as a member of the steering committee to provide the private sector voice. So this is also another opportunity to position individual expertise. So in the one or other case, of course, when questions or points arise in the steering committee, I will then go back to the individual members who I understand or believe that they have the expertise in that area. Then Asia, we have the Asian Development Bank. As already mentioned, we had a successful part in their skills forum. The discussions will continue. We do expect to be able to participate in the 10th forum again. And as Nader Imani mentioned, we are also in discussions about co-developing a solutions platform. The idea of this could be along the lines, quite easily said, as being a year-round exhibition platform for those who work for the ADB on their projects. But this is still work in progress, and you can expect to hear things about this in the coming year. Last but not least, within the scope of things for next year, we have the EduSpace. For this, I would like to jump onto a different presentation. EduSpace is an initiative of the World EDAC Association, of the Secretariat. The purpose and the strategy behind it is, on the one hand, we would like to have a public domain where we jointly offer online training of our members and potential partners. And we would like to provide that, on the one hand, with free content. The thought is, for example, to take some of the Unesco GEC offerings from our members and put that onto the domain. These discussions are still pending, but at the same time, it's an opportunity because we have this LMS functionality and we're using it. We have the opportunity to provide this as provide subdomains per members for use, and should then the member decide to participate in the EduSpace public domain, then they can just switch over or easily make the content available. EduSpace offers online vocational training without borders and without classrooms. That's a clear case because it's purely digital. We believe it's important to have access to the knowledge which is available out there. As I've mentioned in many of my presentations throughout the world to governments and non-governmental institutions, the idea behind World EDAC is that we can become a library for education, so that anyone who wants to know anything about education can knock on our doors, and if we know it, we'll pass it on, or we'll bring them together, or otherwise we'll try and identify where to find it, because we believe we are in the position to do that. In order to do all of this, we of course have different stages. We've done a lot of tests. We've done a lot of, quite some discussions with some of our members. At the same time, it's also important to mention we're actually scoping out to identify partners from the industry. And in the case of, for example, welding or car mechatronics, welding, we've spoken to Lincoln Electric, who is here. Thank you very much for being here again today. But of course, as a member. At the same time, we've also actually gone to Continental, and most of you know them perhaps as tire manufacturers and providers. But at the same time, they have a broad supply in the field of automobile parts. So they also have an idea of what the job requirements are. So we're in discussions with them to provide or to set up a complete training procedure. But coming back to the stages, currently our idea is to go live in the first quarter next year. And for that, we will make certain content available free of charge. And from then on, any member who might want to choose the domain at actually a good price, they can rent space within or rent the subdomain within the area. Then there will be the opportunity of individual licenses. Then finally, we will go to the complete training. Sorry, I just got distracted by someone raising their hand. I will get back to that, hopefully. Benefits are, of course, there is a complete LMS functionality available. It's the idea of this is the majority or the more of our members who participate, and if every member who participates provides a certain amount of free content, this will draw and attract people through the GEC, through different channels to this website. And then based on the quality and and I'm sure the majority of our members or all of our members look at quality as being important, those people will then also be motivated to check out what other offerings are available, even at pay or at cost.
Sorry, Danny, stop,
yes,
please.
Alex?
There are many people or some of our guests can't see your slides. I don't know if the issue is on our side, because I can see the slide.
I'm
afraid that it must be an issue local.
I see the EduSpace Outlook 2022-3.
That's all I see too.
The Christoph Gebauer and Amit can't see it.
I will reshare again. I'm sorry. Let's see.
It was just stuck on the home slide. Yeah, this one, it was stuck on this.
It's stucking again. Yeah.
Okay, no, I think I got it.
Yeah, you need to page through it. Doesn't do it automatically.
No. The issue was that, of course, I'm saying share the slide X, but it's not sharing the slide Y, which was linked. I'm sorry, can you see it now?
Yes, now, yes.
Yeah, working now, yes.
No, it's fine, yeah.
Please do excuse me if I do not go through the individual slides again. I will just flash them up and you're very welcome to stop it at any time in the video if you want to read the content.
Danny, I would suggest we will share all these documents later on.
This will be available, yes, but I'm talking about the individual page. I've got 2 more minutes to say something. Then we were on the benefits, and this is just a quick look and feel and the approach. So it's addressing the youngsters, the people of tomorrow. So we would like to have a motivated approach. And as I said, with Continental, this is still all just basic ideas, but it could look something along these lines. But last but not least, what does this mean for you as members? The members' benefits would be there is a special price for World Data Gold and Platinum members. Available also, of course, to the Silver and Basic, but the pricing will be different. The online content is quite flexible, what can be put up. Most important, I believe, is anyone who's interested in finding out more, please just get in touch with us, express your sincere interest to info@world.ac.org, and then we'll start discussions from there. So I have to stop sharing again, and I have to share the original screen again. Coming back to the next point would be a brief introduction of the World.ac ambassadors. And I would like to begin with Anthony Brandenburg.
Okay, Danny, you know that I talk a lot, so this is the signal to stop me, okay?
Yep, you'll see me.
Cool. Okay, yep, absolutely. Firstly, let me say that, as always, it's an honour to be a World DIDAC ambassador. I think I'm the elder statesperson of the ambassadors. I think I'm into nearly year 8. So what Danny said to me for tonight was, tonight, I'm in Australia at the moment, so it's actually 1:20 in the morning, but the coffee is good. To talk a little bit about myself, but maybe to provide some insights, and then to talk about what I have to offer World DIDAC members. Because I notice it's short in time, maybe introducing myself would be easy to say to you, Tony Brandenburg, World DIDAC in Google, and you get a lot of information about what we've been doing over the years. I provide support not only to members, but also to the Secretariat. In doing that, I tend to work with organisations like Unesco, like ABEGS in the Middle East, the guys throughout the United States, throughout Europe and through Asia. My role is very much of mentioning World DIDAC every time I can, during keynotes or whatever. I'm notoriously good at mentioning World DIDAC and what you guys do. So I want to really spend my time more around some insights for you. I'm semi-retired now, so I have more time to sit and read and watch what's going on around the world. And my crystal ball would say to you that the world has changed, and everybody's telling you it's changed, but the world was changing pre-COVID. It's just had a hurry up. And I want to talk to you, and I want to say to you that as members, if 2 minutes, if you're not functioning, if you're not focusing on sustainability and you're not focusing on peace in our world, there are gaps. World governments, significant world governments are rewriting, revisualizing their curriculums, certainly around sustainability, but also peace education. So that's worthy of a thought. The themes of the previous years of relationships, communication and collaboration are still holding very strongly. If you're the type of person that thinks that physics and chemistry and geology and history and all that will be around in the format that we had when we were students, it's not going to happen. The world is changing. We see this in one of the projects that I'm involved in, which is a smart city project in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh has 2 million students, and as they're working as a smart city to work out what education would look like. And it will look like schools without walls, because they just can't build the amount of schools that they need. In all these cases, I do try really hard to mention the members of World DIDAC. The Secretariat gives me a list. We talk about what people have to offer, and that's my purpose. I also spend time with the Secretariat with the awards. I do some PR for them. I do some interviews for them, and I enjoy it and I appreciate it. And I thank you very much for the honor of being an ambassador.
And that was a perfect touchdown. Thank you for that, Tony.
You're welcome.
I would like to hand over the word to Elfie Klump for a few words of hers, if possible.
Yes, here I am. Hello, everybody. My name is Elfie Klump. I'm based in Germany, in Europe, and I'm honored to serve the organization as a World IDEC ambassador. I had the pleasure to serve your board for 6 years during the early 2000 years. And most lately, I had the pleasure to let's say design, conceptualize, and substantially ramp up FutureTalk in Bern in 2020 with the support of the Swiss government and the involvement of 3 UN agencies for our thematic approach during FutureTalk in 2020. And yes, my background is skills development, stakeholder management in the education field for over, I would say, 3 decades now. So a few of you here in the round know me from other topics and other background or opportunities and projects. So let's see what I can be serving you in the future. I look forward to discuss with your board and your management. With Danny, I'm in strong contact here. That's all. I don't want to absorb your time too much, but it is a pleasure to be here from a different perspective now over all the after all those years.
Thank you very much, Elfie. I would like to now hand over the word to Dr. Peter Monari. Sorry, I keep thinking it's Dr. Peter Monari Joseph. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Monari Joseph. I'm honored to be an ambassador of World IDEC representing the African continent. It's an honor to talk about World IDEC. African countries are young nations with a lot of challenges in terms of education development from the lowest to the highest basic education. So my main goal as an ambassador of World IDEC is to ensure that we are working together with the World IDEC members to be able to ensure that they have projects in Africa assisting the African continent to be able to develop the education sector and to ensure that there is quality access to every child in Africa. And I'm very sure that from the way our president has always said, Africa is a young nation, has a very huge population of young people. So hence we require a lot of support in terms of quality education. Hence, I'm looking forward to support every member who is a member of World IDEC to set foot in Africa and have projects in Africa. That's why I want to, together with the Secretariat, to engage with the African Union, African Development Bank, so that we can be able to identify activities to do in Africa together with our members. Thank you so much. And again, I'm honored to be given the opportunity to serve as the World IDEC ambassador from this region. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the discipline in holding time to everyone. Sorry for that cough. Last but not least, from the people who are here, I would like to hand the word over to Mr. Xavier Menierta to say a few words also from the Latin America side.
Dear colleagues, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, dear colleagues of the World IDEC organization, really it's an honor for me to be part of this organization as a World DAC ambassador for Latam. Receive a greeting from me, and let me introduce a little bit of myself. Well, I'm almost 60 years old mechanical engineer from Ecuador. I have a vast experience on what is didactics. I'm part of other organizations as WorldSkills International and WorldSkills America. And currently I am having the position of technical delegate. And really it's from my position of Latam ambassador for World DAC, I hope to play an important role for the growth of the organization, especially in Latin America. Latin America now is also a young continent with a lot of young people, and we are trying to push all our nations to be part of the first group in the world and economy. I will try to dedicate my best efforts based on a great experience from your side, especially with your support. And I am ready to collaborate in whatever you need from me. At present, as Danny says, we are relaunching a virtual visit for World DAC in our country. I think it will be a great experience. It's on March, we will try to do this, and we are now sending the letters for the people of Ecuador, especially the first authorities on the field of education. Well, that's all for me. I wish you to have a success new year to everybody. Have in these holidays with your family, enjoy it, and let's do it next year the best we can. And I think even in this new days of pandemics, I think we will be success. That's all for my part. Thank you all.
Typical thing in the time of digitalization, again, Zoom meetings and so on and so forth, forget to unmute yourself before you talk. That just happened to me. I'm sure everybody is chuckling as well. I'm hoping that my screen is sharing. It's sharing the wrong thing. There we go. It should be sharing the overview. Again, also here, the contact people, the contact emails of the people who have just taken the stage are available. And of course, you can contact us at the Secretariat anytime to get in touch with anyone. So I would like to take this moment to thank you all very much. Normally, such a meeting, being the General Assembly, would take place in a completely different surrounding. We would try to hold it during an event, during an exhibition or a conference. For that purpose, we would then also have the formal and informal time. Specifically, the informal time is actually there where the most information passes through. I appreciate very much your time and investing the 1.5 hours which you've spent here. This is why we've been rushing through, knowing that many of you also in the digital time nowadays plan your meetings quite back to back. We truly value your time and participation in this event. And I would like to just finally, because I missed it at the beginning, welcome our 2 newest platinum members, being Tech Edu, Phoenix Contact, Anja Schulz, hello. The second one would be Volksuniversität, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm still battling with that. Mr. Ali Rashidi, truly happy to have you on board. And as a one last final point, I ask if it's possible that everybody turns on your screen cameras so that we can make a picture of everybody on board, everybody who has participated, just so we have a final thing that we could also post in our members newsletter. I truly believe this is also an important aspect. And
so nice to see you all, really.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, then I would say I will take a screenshot and say, everybody just say cheese or whatever you feel like saying. I see that we have a hand up there. And I thank you very much. So having done all that, I truly thank you once again for your active participation, and I am available for any other questions should you have. I expect we will have the recording of this General Assembly up as soon as possible, and we will also inform the availability via the newsletter, members newsletter. So I thank you all once again. Can't stop thanking you enough. I wish you a lovely, lovely day. Thank you.
Danny,
Bye-bye.
Yes. There
Yes.
is a question. There is a hand raising here. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Danny. It's Michael from Lexelaw in Germany. I only want to use the possibilities to say thank you for the nice organization. And when I saw the balance sheet of the business results, what you earn in the last 2 years, it was really a catastrophe. And for this, with the possibilities what you have in a cash in your organization, I would like to say that you really make a very good job with this small amount of money what you have, and I feel me very comfortable in this in the World IDEC organization and with the possibilities what you organize for your members. And yeah, this I want to say finally, and I'm hopeful that we have a lot of nice projects in the future. And yeah, I feel me very well in your hand.
Thank you very much for that comment as well, Michael. And just wait until you see next year's numbers for this year. You will be even more astonished. But we are on the uprise and we have a lot of things planned. So thank you all very much also for participating, for your support, and for your ongoing interaction with us. Have a lovely evening, good morning and afternoon.
Good evening and good night.
Yes, goodbye.
And good
Bye.
morning.
Bye.
Thank you, Danny.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Danny.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.